Hello folks, this is Sullla once again, giving you another video for League of Legends. This is taken from a custom game we played on a Saturday with me and some of my friends here. It looks like that loading screen went by really fast, so I'll just pull up the tab screen here to start. I'm playing as Cho'Gath in this game. Playing alongside me are Martian me playing as Tristana, Gnar playing as Soraka. Two N's, two A's, two R's. We'll just go with Gnar on Soraka. Machi Balls playing on LeBlanc, and Seirun playing as Gangplank. On the other team, we have Terra Incognita playing as Ashe, Kevin Rill playing as Morgana, Kevin Rill or Krill, a long-time Civilization person that we've had a lot of dealings with online. Plasma Puffball playing as Akali, Varus Nox playing as Riven, and the Hoodman playing as Alistar. So there you go. And those are the two teams for you. Sorry that loading screen went by quite so quickly. Just a couple quick updates, news for the channel, news for people who've been watching. Thanks again to people who went ahead and subscribed on Twitter. Like I said, that is there to make things more convenient for viewers so that people can know when I'm streaming for League of Legends. People can see right away when a new video gets posted and don't have to worry about the subs box for YouTube not working out. Did also have a couple donations on PayPal after the videos that I posted last week, so a special thanks to the couple people who did that. I was able to put some of that money back into purchasing more new champs. I'm not going to use any of that money for anything frivolous like skins or that sort of things that are cosmetic. Just going to try to use the money that was donated to me, like I said, to fill out the collection of champions so that I can use them on videos and so that I can show people more stuff for League of Legends. So once again, special thanks to those people. And again, no obligation ever to donate me anything. I really don't need it. But if you do want to support, it's really appreciated. So once again, thanks. Okay, as for this game, like I said, custom game. So all people that are either friends or watch the YouTube channel or just wanted to hang out with us and play some games. So this was played on a Saturday, not part of our usually Tuesday night game. We needed someone to play top lane, and so I decided that I would just go ahead and play Cho'Gath. I have played some Cho, not a whole lot, but I have played a little bit, and I'm going to be taking the top lane, and I'm going to be running teleport so that I can jump into any dragon fights we might have, or just if I need to be somewhere else on the map, I'm going to appear. Now, as it turns out, I thought that Plasma Puffball would likely be in middle lane with his Akali, but instead he's actually going to be up top here. I just expected that we'd be seeing double assassins, LeBlanc against Akali in mid, but no, instead he's up here, so we're going to have Akali versus Cho'Gath up here in top lane, and I'll talk more about that matchup as we go along. Meanwhile, in middle lane, Machi Balls playing as LeBlanc is going to be here in mid against Kevin Rill's Morgana. So LeBlanc against Morgana in mid. In bottom lane, we have Martian Mies, Tristana, Gnar's Soraka playing against Terra's Ashe and the Hoodman's Alistar. So a lot of these are all original champs, original 40 champs. We have Tristana Soraka against Ashe Alistar, and no real feeling about who wins that matchup just off the top of my head. Then Seirun is going to be jungling with Gangplank, and on the other side, Varus is actually going to be jungling with Riven. So we were going to experiment a little bit with this. If you watch the champion spotlight for Riven, Freak says that Riven is supposed to be played as a jungler along with every other champion in the game. So we decided we'd test that out and see how things felt at the end of this game, just by way of more practice. Like I said, these are more sort of practice games than anything intended to be super serious, but of course, we are still trying to win these games. Now, I did do, I think, one Cho video a number of weeks ago. It's been a while, I guess, since I did that. Cho hasn't really changed in that period of time. I don't think that he has gotten any substantial reworks or changes to his character since then. He's still built him pretty much the same way. He's a tanky champion, very tanky champion, has a lot of disables, a lot of crowd control, and he scales off of ability power for the most part. Anyway, we have First Blood right there. Sorry, I should have been paying attention that Seirun going mid, ganking Kevin Rill's Morgana, and together with Machi Balls getting the kill there. Should have been paying attention to that. Sorry about that. Was looking at my own champ here. Anyway, I have pushed up to tower here, so I'm just going to go back as a Cho'Gath player. There's a number of different ways you can build him. Generally, the two ways that people go are either they start out with a Catalyst or they start out with a Philosopher's Stone, both of them giving him sustain in lane. I'm going to go the Catalyst route, so I just decided since my lane was pushed, I'll go and grab that Ruby Crystal, head back to lane right now. I'm actually going to favor getting Catalyst over getting Boots because, like I said, Cho is a very tanky champ, and I'm not too worried about getting killed in lane early on. Don't really know that much about Jungle Riven because I've never really seen Jungle Riven before. Anyway, Varus is going in here. A nice flash by the Hoodman's Alistar, knocking back Gnar, and let's see, is he going to be able to survive? No, not going to make it out of there. So a nice play there by the Hoodman's Alistar, setting up that play, and we're going to be 1 for 1 here in the early going. Now, since this is a Cho video, I want to talk a little bit about his skills, about his abilities, for people who might not have played Cho before. Like I said, Cho, tanky AP, he deals mostly magic damage, not purely, but deals mostly magic damage. The big advantage of him is that he becomes really tanky throughout the game due to the way that his ultimate works. His Feast ultimate, I'll just highlight this to start, deals true damage to a target champion or 1,000 true damage to a target minion, ignores resist. Pretty useful actually for taking things like Dragon and Baron. It's sort of like having a second smite on your team when you have your feast. But every time he feasts a minion, he gains extra bonus maximum health, up to 6 stacks. You lose half of them when you die, but if you can stay alive, and usually as Cho, you're the last one to die on your team, if you can stay alive, then his health gain is pretty substantial. So he's going to be tanky pretty much regardless of what you do, just based on his base stats and his ultimate. Now, so his ultimate's pretty useful. Ultimate also means you need to run flash. Like, you can't run Ghost on Cho. You really need to run flash because the range of his feast is so small. You need to be able to flash next to somebody and devour them with that feast. Otherwise, you can't play him effectively. As far as his other skill sets, like I said, it mostly has a lot of disables, a lot of crowd control. His Q, his Rupture, you point it on the ground, and after a delay of 1 second, it knocks people up into the air. This is a really, really good skill. Look at the range. You can see it has great range. You can hit people pretty far away, but due to the delay in using it, it can be a very tricky skill to land. Basically, the thing that separates good and bad Cho players is their ability to hit on Ruptures. Well-placed Rupture can actually disable an entire enemy team, so it's really valuable. Right there, I'm going to hit level 6, so I'm going to use my first feast stack right there. And there you can see, right there I have the feast stack right there. So 90 bonus health just for that first feast stack. It'll be more substantial as the game goes along. More points in the skill, more feast stacks. Anyway, so Rupture, a great skill. It's on a pretty short cooldown too, only a 9-second cooldown. But like I said, the disadvantage is it's hard to hit with because of the delay. Take some practice. Right there, that's the Rupture. Those are the spikes coming up. The skill that's generally a little bit easier to use is his W skill, his Feral Scream. This is a silence. If you've noticed, I've been using this a lot during the laning phase. Silences enemies in front of Cho'Gath and deals magic damage. The silence is pretty substantial, 2.5 seconds. That's a long silence. It's also a relatively easy skill to hit due to the cone. But I'll get back to Cho in a minute. I want to let's see if we can shift the focus down here. Machiball's trying to gank here in bottom lane. Let's see what he can do. He's asking the team to push up here so he can go in. And let's see how this goes. I actually don't remember how this play turned out from when we played this game because I was focusing on top lane. But let's see. It looks like Machi's going to go in right here. So here he is going in after Terra Incognita, and there's the kill right there. Then he's going to blink out with LeBlanc, and he is actually going to survive there just barely. This is the 4-man gank here. Had the 2 in bottom lane plus the jungler, and then middle lane comes in and ganks. Krevenrill doing the right thing, pushing this tower since he can't get down. Or does he have a teleport? Yeah, he has teleport. He might have wanted to teleport into that fight right there. But in any case, that was a kill for Machiballs. Nice little gank there, and he was able to survive. But now Riven is coming to the fight. Varus has appeared here, so now it is, I think it's just a 2-on-3. Yeah, it's a 3-on-2 in our favor. Varus is going to chase them back. Does he have enough damage to finish somebody off right here? Doesn't look like it, so not able to gank and get that kill right there. Trying to come in there and clean up, but just coming in too late. Okay, anyway, I went back, picked up Catalyst. Like I said, this is going to be the first item I want to get due to the sustain. Gives me back health and mana. I can choose later to build this into either Rod of Ages or Banshee's Veil, both of which are very good on Cho. And Machiball's just picked up another kill there on Krevenrill in middle lane. And Varus picking up a kill in bottom lane. So more action going on the map. Shame that I didn't get to see these things, but again, health bars would have been bugged out anyway, so apologies there. Anyway, as I was saying, so you have Knockup on Q, his Rupture skill. You have Silence on W, his Feral Scream. This is the easiest skill to hit on due to the fact that it's in a cone in front of him. I'm going to max that first because it's useful for farming, and it also does increase the silence. Anyway, right here, I saw them diving in bottom lane, so I'm going to burn my teleport. I actually should have gone in a little bit sooner. Right here, we're going after the Hoodman. I miss on my Rupture right there, which is not so good. Going to get Ash arrowed right there. Machis is going to flash after the Hoodman. There's the chain from LeBlanc, so there is the stun right there. He's going to pop Alistar ult, but I'm going to hit on the Rupture right there, and then I'm going to use my Feast. Feast deals true damage. Now we just need to finish this off under the tower. Need one more hit, and Silence is going to finish that off, and we're going to get the kill there. So that was me teleporting into the fight. Actually should have teleported in about 1 or 2 seconds earlier. I was a little slow in reacting there. Could have gotten back to the fight. So that did allow us to clean up an extra kill there, but no boots means slow walk back to top lane. Anyway, we're going to use Gangplank Ult here to defend this tower, force back Kevin Rowe. Up in top lane, Plasma is going to get some damage on this tower, but I believe it's in relatively decent shape because the minion wave wasn't that pushed up in top. And yeah, okay, so I'm going to lose about half my tower, which is significant, but still about halfway there. Was it worth it to teleport to bottom lane? I would say so, probably worth it to get that kill. I mean, it's debatable, but I did lose some health on the tower, but I still think it was probably worth it overall. Anyway, just to round out the skill set, already talked about the ult. Other skills on Cho. His E is his Vorpal Spikes. It's a passive. When you have this turned on, every auto attack sends these little spikes in front of him. See the little spikes? Useful for last hitting, but it's kind of a 1-point skill. You don't really need a whole lot of points in this. Usually 1 point is plenty to do the damage here. And it does also scale off of AP, but it has a pretty bad ratio, so you won't be doing massive damage with this skill. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, my feast is back up, so I really should feast a minion here. I think I'm going to try to feast the cannon minion, if I remember correctly. Cannon minion's a good one to feast because you can pretty much always get them, and they're the one. Of course, they're worth the most gold and experience. So if you're gonna feast a minion, you might as well just use your feast on the ones that are worth the most money. Anyway, here we're trying to gank Plasma Puffball. There's the knockup right there, but he's gonna go into his shroud. Oh, there is the pink ward right there. Coming out from Seirun, so we might have been able to get that, but Plasma's back under the safety of his tower, and that is not a good idea to dive that because the rest of the team is likely just going to show up and kill us. They can always have champs rotate up from mid, or their jungler can come up there, and then we're not really going to be able to achieve anything. I wanted to go back. I wanted to get boots. I was feeling a little silly still having no boots at the 11-minute mark, so I'm going to go back and get that. And then finally, the other thing that makes Cho'Gath really good for sitting in top lane AFK farming is his passive Carnivore. Anytime he kills a unit, he recovers some health and some mana. And this does increase as you level up. I don't know the exact ratios at which it levels up, but it does increase as you go up in level. Anyway, Machi Ball's engaging on Kevin Rowe again, and he's going to get that kill pretty easily. Is stacking the Doran's items, 74 AP. Now Varus coming in here, trying to go after Machi Balls, who has just used all his cooldowns right here. Let's see if he's going to be able to escape. There's the chain right here. He's going to dash that way. Going to dash out of safety. Actually, I don't know where he ended up. No, never mind. There's the clone making things more confusing. And Machi's actually going to get that kill as well and pick up double buff from Varus Nox's Riven. Anyway, Seirun getting ignited by Plasma Puffball, and he is actually going to die to the ignite, and then Plasma's going to clean up that kill on Machi Balls as well, who was low from the last fight. So Plasma did a nice job. He was top lane. He saw that fight. He came down the river and went down here and cleaned up two low HP champions. Exactly what you want an assassin champ like Akali to be doing. A lot of discussion about Akali. She seems to be the hot forum topic at the moment. I'll just say that Akali is pretty much like all other assassin champions. If she gets a lot of early kills, then she is going to snowball because that's how assassins work. If she doesn't get early kills, then she's not going to be very strong. It's pretty much as simple as that. I think one of the reasons why people have focused so much on Akali, who hasn't been changed in any recent patches, is due to two things. One, because Akali is really, really good on Dominion. Anyway, Plasma's down here, and it's just been pinged by my team, so now I'm going to try to back out. Like I said, Akali's really good on Dominion, and she also scales really well with Gunblade, and if anything, I think the Gunblade is the item that actually is a little problematic. Anyway, Plasma's coming after me. Kevin Rowe's up here as well, but I'm really tanky already. I have 2,000 health already at level 10, so I'm just not in that much danger as Cho'Gath. If I can do any kind of a semi-decent job of landing my Rupture to defend myself using Silence and Knockup in lane, then I should be okay. Anyway, they've switched back. Plasma Puffball's gone back to top lane, and I guess that means they're going to send Kevin Rowe back to mid. Yes, there he is. Overall, in terms of farming stats, pretty happy with how the lane is going. I'm on 90 minion kills, Plasma's on 85, so we're pretty much even in terms of minion kills, but Plasma has not been able to kill me in lane, and this is one reason why I think this matchup works pretty well in terms of our team. Akali needs to be against squishy champs. It's not that Akali is necessarily bad against a champ like Cho, but Akali can't kill me, and if Akali can't kill me, she's not going to be able to snowball. So I think that that's something that was working in our favor. Varus going to mid again, going after Machi Balls. Looks like he's okay, drinking a health pot there. Saw him coming in there, but it doesn't look like that turned into a kill on either side. So yeah, Akali does well against, generally does well against a lot of mages. Not all of them, but a lot of them. a lot of the ones where she can dash in quickly and close the distance. Cho, probably not the best champ. Cho just has too much sustain, not really going to be killed by Akali. Once I feast another minion, I'm going to be up to about 2,500 life. Anyway, going to go head down here for this particular fight. Varus jumping in right there, getting a little aggressive here, though. It looks like he took some tower shots there. Let's see how this fight plays out. Hard to say what's going on without any health bars on any side, but it looks like their team is trying to get out of here 3-on-3 in their favor. Did Gnar flash, or was that just the client slow to update? Not entirely sure. It looks like everybody is actually going to survive here. And that was another fight I could have considered jumping into, but I would have probably been coming in a little too far behind the fight with teleport there. Anyway, we've chased them back. I think that we are going to make a play for Dragon, or no, looks like we're not going to go for Dragon. That would have been a good time because their lane looked like their lane took a lot of damage, and we had a bunch of champs bot, and I could have teleported in. Probably should have gone for Dragon there. If I had been watching the bottom of the map, I probably would have called for the team to try to do that there. But I was more focused on what was going on here in my lane, and I wasn't really watching their fights all that much. One other thing that you can do is, if you notice down there, when their other team pushed towards our tower right here, and Varus like jumped forward, if we had had a ward in the brush, like say right here or right here, I could have teleported in behind the enemy team, and that can be a devastatingly effective move if you have a teleport on your top lane. Being like if the other team is diving in bottom, and then you teleport not to the tower, but you teleport behind them, like right here or right here, then all of a sudden there's another person in the fight coming in from an angle they don't expect. It can be a really, really strong play, and it's something we've seen actually a lot in some of the tournaments that have been getting run. If you watched some of the IPL tournaments this weekend in Atlantic City, they some of the teams made really good use of teleport. It's just a great skill to use. I think that it's something that not every team comp doesn't work for every team comp, but it's really good in competitive play, and it works for a lot of situations on your top lane. It's a little disappointing our team hasn't gone for Dragon yet. I think that we've had enough control in bottom lane that we could have gone for it, and it looks like it's still sitting there with no one having taken it at the 1630 mark. So that's one area where we could have improved, could have focused on getting that a little bit sooner. Anyway, Machi Balls looks like he's taking blue right here from our jungler. Seirun has the other team's blue. It looks like he either killed someone or went in there and stole it. While that was going on, Kevin Rowe and Varus Nox pushed over our tower there. Anyway, in terms of my itemizing, I went ahead and bought Merc Treads, not just Boots 1, but Merc Treads. I figured that ordinarily, often I'll leave the Boots 2 for a while. Don't want to get them right away, but this was something that would also help me lane, getting that extra magic resist. Right here, I actually do hit the knockup on Plasma Puffball, and there I'm going to use my Feast on him to get in some free damage. Not enough to kill him, but we did force a flash there, so that was pretty good, and we're able to back Plasma off of the tower. So we should be able to get in quite a bit of damage on it here. Or we would, except that Varus is here as well, and now Plasma's going to come back into the fight. Seirun's going to eat his oranges right there. I'm going to try to use the knockup defensively. Again, this is a 2-on-2, but if anyone else comes into the fight, we could be in trouble. We were able to, well, we used a Soraka ult there. It wasn't actually needed, but it looked like there might have been a fight. So Gnar trying to help us out there, but as it turned out, that wasn't needed, and we ended up backing off there on the two sides. So, oh well, could have turned into a big fight, but ended up not turning into a big fight right there. Again, I'm just still trying to push this. I know that Plasma's going back, so I want to try to push this tower while he's away. This is also a good time for us to make a play for Dragon because Varus is up here and Plasma's healing. Looks like we are going to make a play down here. There's a knockback into the wall on that Tristana Buster shot, and together Machi, Marshme, and Gnar are going to get that kill. And I believe that now we're going to make a play for Dragon. This would certainly be the optimal time while Varus, their team's jungler, is up here in top lane while we have 3 in bottom. And there's not even a tower here for Seirun to defend, so that would seem like the right time to do it. Anyway, I've been trading with Varus, but I've actually been coming out ahead, and if my Feast were up, I could actually flash in there and kill him. All I'd have to do is hit one knockup on my Rupture, and then a Feral Scream and Feast, and he would be dead right there. The problem here was I was almost out of mana right here. Like, I didn't realize how low I was on mana. Feast does cost 100 mana, so even though I'm getting in a lot of damage against Varus here, I keep silencing him every single time that the skill is up. And he does have a Wriggles, but I don't think he has quite enough lifesteal right now to make up for the damage that I'm dealing to him between auto attacks and Feral Scream. The problem is I'm using up a lot of mana on this, and I didn't realize quite how much I was using because we are getting into a bit of an engagement here. Seirun getting into a fight with Kevin Rowe, going to eat the oranges, going to be okay with his remove scurvy right there. I'm not sure if I actually hit on that Fatal Scream or not. Actually, I did hit on that, but now notice I'm completely out of mana. Like, right now, my Feast has actually come off of cooldown, and I could kill Varus Nox if I had my Feast, but I was going in here. See, I actually flashed in to go for Varus, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't have any mana to use it. Uh-oh. That is not good. Anyway, I'm tanky enough that I'm going to be okay, but it looks like the rest of, we did lose Seirun, our Gangplank player, right there. And now Machiball's going to go in against Varus Nox. Is he going to be able to get this kill so low? There is the black shield on Varus, and again here, we just need that last hit, but I'm not able to get it because I burned my flash in order to flash and then feast, and I didn't have enough mana for feast, so that was pretty silly. Anyway, Machi really wants this kill. He's going in there, going after Plasma Puffball. Is he going to get this kill? And yes, he is with his Ignite, so they're going to trade 1 for 1. But that probably wasn't worth it because they got an assist right there. I guess, no, they iced Killing Spree, so it probably was worth it if you got Killing Spree gold there. Still, he did have to use his Ignite, so I don't know. I guess it's a relatively even trade overall. Machi does have a death cap so far, so he's building up a lot of ability power, getting pretty strong. Going to look at some of the other items here. Marshmi is getting close to an Infinity Edge. Terror is, well, about the same. I think they're pretty even in their build. Well, Terror's a bit ahead. He does have a lot more minion kills. Terror also has 2 kills, so never mind. Terror is ahead in his build right now between the 2 AP carries. Kevin Earl is pushing on my tower up here. He does have the Catalyst, but he doesn't really have any ability power yet, so he's not really particularly scary. He has farmed relatively well, 103 minion kills. Let's see, I've actually pulled ahead of Plasma, but Plasma does have that Gunblade right now, so it's going to make him pretty scary. I could have teleported back to this tower, and it would have taken less damage, but again, Dragon is still up. I'm still waiting to teleport into a Dragon fight, which our team really hasn't gone for at any point in time yet. I was just saving my teleport because I kept expecting we were going to team fight a Dragon, and we just never did. For whatever reason, again, I don't know. It wasn't part of the fights down there, so I wasn't in touch with entirely what was going on in the fight's bottom. But that's why I'm just sitting on this teleport, by the way. You might be thinking, well, hey, you have this summoner. You've only used it 1 time in 21 minutes. Well, there was a reason for that. I was trying to save it for dragon fights that just weren't happening on either side. Anyway, Kevin Rill is now up here on top. I'm leaning against him. Kevin has not played quite as many League of Legends games as the rest of us. I think he's like level 26 or 27, so has played a lot fewer games than a lot of the rest of us who've been playing this for a while. So doesn't have quite as much experience. That's probably why he's is 03 in this game at the moment. Was playing with people who had a lot more experience, a lot more practice, that sort of thing. But was doing an okay job here. Certainly had done a nice job of pushing towers, pushed over this tower here, and did a good job of farming. But LeBlanc can be tough to lane against due to the fact that she's explicitly designed to sort of blow up other AP carries, and Machiballs was actually able to do that in mid there and do a pretty good job. Anyway, I'm just trying to farm these minions here. I'm trying to get in my silence on Kevin whenever I can. But, you know, Morgana at this point is pretty tanky with her own Catalyst and her own Doran's Ring. Probably not going to be able to do too much. We're sort of in a down period right now. Not a whole lot going on in this game, just farming back and forth. We do have 3 in bottom lane, so it looks like Seirun's going to try to sneak here into the brush, but they also have 3 down here. Plasma Puffball's down in bottom lane too, so that means that they should probably just back out. 3 on 3, but Akali is pretty strong right now at this point in time in the game. And, oh, look, Riven's there too, so that's now 4 of them here. Looks like they're going to push. I should probably teleport to bottom lane right now and jump into this fight. Should have been paying more attention to this. But at this point, oh, you see, here it is. I'm going to come in and teleport in now, but I'm actually teleporting in too late. We should have gone in about 10 seconds earlier while we had that tower. By waiting to fight until after the tower was down wasn't the best move. I'm going to use my Feast on Alistar because I can get true damage there against his ult, but unfortunately everybody else has kind of died around me in the process, and I'm going to get exploded on there, and Varus is actually going to score a double kill. So that wasn't a good fight to pick. I chose a poor time to jump in with my teleport. I should have gone in, like I said, about 5 seconds earlier while we still had the tower. If we had fought while we still had the tower, I think we would have won that fight. But instead, we're going to lose the fight, and then that means a free dragon for the other team. No chance that we can... we don't have our jungler. Yeah, our jungler Seirun has died. So with them having a smite, the odds of us being able to steal it are extremely low. So Machiball is making the right decision not to jump in there. So that was a mistake on my part. Like I said, it wasn't the wrong decision to go to bottom lane. That was the right call because that turned it into a 4-on-4. But the actual timing was bad, and I should have gone into that fight a little bit earlier, and I think that we would have been able to swing that fight and probably win that. I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but we probably could have won that if we had fought while we still had the tower there. Okay, but enough about that. Now, in terms of further itemizing, I have gone ahead and picked up a Glacial Shroud. I had been mostly building magic resist up to this point in time. You see, I picked up this Null Magic Mantle here. The Null Magic Mantle is for a Wit's End a little bit later on, but I just went and picked it up. I've been itemizing so far magic resist because I was in a lane against a Kali, and armor wasn't going to help all that much against a Kali. So getting a whole bunch of early magic resist was very helpful in terms of laning against Plasma Puffball. That's why I got the early Negatron Cloak. At this point in time, though, I figured, hey, we're going to be team fighting in the upcoming future. I'm going to need some more armor if I want to survive in these team fights. So I need armor, and one of the best items to get that with Cho is to pick up Glacial Shroud. Gives him extra mana, and the mana is pretty significant, helps out quite a bit because I am defensive spec and I'm running Strength of Spirit on Cho. So that means more mana, means I get more health regen through Strength of Spirit. Again, there are a couple different ways you can build Cho. You don't necessarily have to run full 21 in the defensive tree, but I like doing it. And if you are going to play Cho, I would probably recommend 9 points in defense, at least for Strength of Spirit, because it is pretty good on him. Going to end up with a lot of mana. But anyway, as I was saying, Glacial Shroud useful, gives you mana, gives you armor, and then it also gives you the cooldown reduction. That's very key on Cho because he does have long cooldowns, and you're not really going to be taking the blue buff with Cho'Gath. He's just not really the right champ. You can give that to an ability power champ, a caster of some kind. It'll be more useful for them. See, Rupture down to 7.5 second cooldown. His Scream down to 11 second cooldown. So reducing his cooldowns definitely helps quite a bit. You can just disable people more often. Let's see, I have exactly the 15% from items, nothing from Masteries here. Anyway, we were going in here against Plasma. Gnar is going to throw down the Vision Ward, but I just had a bad feeling about this fight while the game was going on. And indeed, the enemy team is coming in here and is ganking us. We only have 3 here, now 2 because Gnar has just gotten bursted down. Varus is doing a nice job, and now we have another Assassin, Riven, and Akali chasing people down. And at this point, I was like, oh crud, we don't have a tower here anymore. That is bad news. So I'm going to just keep trying to walk away. Morgana ult coming in, Ignite coming in, and at this point I was like, yeah, I'm dead. I'm not making out of that. So that was a classic example of an overpush, pushing too far in top lane. We should not have tried to dive Plasma Puffball under his tower. Not when Marcianry was down here in bottom, and Machi Balls was not nearby either. So they just brought more champs to the fight than we had. Soraka just exploded instantly, and at that point they just chased us down and won that fight pretty handily. So it was a nice job by their team recognizing that we were putting pressure on Plasma underneath his tower, responding to that, sending 4 champs to top lane, and just doing a nice job of blowing us up there. Now here they were going for Baron, and Machi is going to do his best to try to defend this. We have a defensive Gangplank ult coming out from Seirun, and Machi Balls is going to do his best to defend this. Here comes Gnar as well. Gnar has a small death timer because he is a lower level as a support. Now they are going to take Baron, but Machi is going to score several kills here. Let's see, he's gotten Terror, he's gotten Kevin Rowe, so he's going to clear Baron off of 2 of them. So even though it wasn't good that they got Baron, and it was still, I think, to their advantage, usually Baron's considered to be worth about 3 kills, and we only got 2 kills out of that, so it was probably still worth it for them. But we are going to push here. We're going to push in different lanes. We're going to push here on mid. We're going to get that tower. Marcianry is going to push in bot. So if we can get 2 towers, oh, and right there, let's see, are we going to be able to kill Plasma Puffball? We did get the stun right there. Nope, he's going to kill Machi Balls instead. Now Seirun is chasing him, but we probably can't keep going in here. Here comes the chase. Now Gnar is in all kinds of trouble. Uh-oh. Varus knocks his Riven in here. Nice defensive flash. I'm going to use my silence right there, and it looks like we're going to disengage at that point. Yeah, defensive rupture right there in case they continued going in. So we lost, I guess we went 2 for 1 in that fighting there. Machi got 2 kills, then he died, but we did get the 2 towers. Overall, that was in their favor because they did get the Baron. And we only did get 2 kills on them, but the fact that we were able to get the 2 kills, get the towers, that meant that even though they got Baron and it was bad, it wasn't a disaster. It wasn't as bad as if they took Baron and then we just did nothing, you know. So like I said, Machis did a really nice job there to minimize their gains from our mistake getting caught in top lane. So like I said, did a nice job of turning a bad situation into something that wasn't good, but like I said, not a total loss on our part right there. Anyway, I'm going back right now. I believe I had enough to pick Wit's End at this point in time. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what I was going back to pick up here. Let me look for the items. Sell the 2 health pots, and yeah, there we go. So there we go. This is what I will always think of as the Hotshot GG Cho'Gath build, because he's the one who first started building Cho like this, and it's been copied by a lot of people, myself included, obviously, because I think it's a good build. The basic idea is the core item, or maybe not the core item, but one of the core items is is to pick up Wit's End. It gives you attack speed, magic resist, and it gives you that passive where your attacks deal bonus magic damage. And then also, your basic attacks also stack your magic resist by 5, so you can basically get 20 extra magic resist right there. Yeah, see, 20 extra magic resist. The rationale behind this is, you might think that this is kind of a silly item, but it actually makes a ton of sense on Cho, because what does Cho need? Well, he needs to be tanky, so Wit's End is going to give him magic resist, and then the attack speed is pretty useful as well. If you're Cho, you're going to be in the middle of the enemy team, you're going to be you're going to use your Q, you're going to use your W, you're going to try to hit people with the knock-up, hit people with the silence, and then what do you do after that? Rupture's on, is on a 9-second cooldown before cooldown reduction, and Scream is on, I think, a 13-second cooldown. So you're going to use those two skills, and then you're going to be standing around for about 10 seconds. What are you going to do during that time? Well, you should be auto-attacking. So getting an item that gives you attack speed, gives you magic resist, gives you bonus magic resistance based on how fast you attack, it's a really useful item. And so, like I said, it gives them a lot of good stats. Anyway, right here, they're trying to take our blue buff, so we are going to initiate a fight right here. Machi's going to get the initial kill on Kevin Rowe, going after Alistar right there. He's very, very low. Marshami's going to finish this off. My positioning is not great. I need to be in the middle of the enemy team, trying to use my disables. I sort of forgot for a second I was Cho'Gath, and I was super, super tanky there. So their team kind of got caught there, and it was not a good fight for them. Oh, Tsaroon gets the slow on Varus with his red buff, but we're not quite able to follow it up. Still, we did get 2 kills. We got Kevin Rowe, and we got the Hoodman's Alistar. So, did a pretty good job, like I said. They did get our blue buff there. Now, right here, watch this Rupture on Varus Nox right there. Actually going to finish him off with that Rupture. I was just trying to cut off his avenue of retreat, but I actually managed to get the kill with my Rupture there. And so that was probably a case where Varus should have just backed and tried to defend this tower. Probably a little bit over-aggressive on his part. Now, they do have 3 dead, but 2 of them are reviving. Let's see, Alistar and Morgana are back. So instead of diving this tower, which again is a very strong part of their defenses, I suggested we should just back, go for Dragon, claim Dragon, try to raid neutral buffs, that sort of thing. Look to make a play that's a little bit less aggressive, but it's much safer, and we're going to get the Dragon benefit there. I'm not sure what Plasma was referring to right there. I think that he and Machi Balls had a bit of an exchange. Anyway, so we're going to go for that, and now at this point I saw that this tower we could push on it, so I'm actually going to use my teleport to go here. Debatable as to whether that was a worthwhile use of teleport. I could have held on to it and used it for split pushing, but Cho's not really a great split pusher. He kind of needs to be with the team, so I decided, you know what, this tower's low, let's just grab this one, and look how fast I'm attacking. That attack speed makes a big difference when you pick up that Wit's End. So anyway, I was actually able to get that tower due to the teleport. Otherwise, Terra would have pushed it back. So was it worth it? I don't know, maybe. It's just I didn't feel like I would be in a position where I would be off away from the rest of the team and where I'd want to be teleporting into the fight after that. So I figured at the moment it was worth it. Anyway, next item, going to finish that Banshee's Veil. Again, one of the advantages of a Catalyst on Cho'Gath as the first item is you can choose to build it into either Rod of Ages or Banshee's Veil, depending on how the game is going. Both very good options on Cho. I decided that I would just go for the Banshee's Veil because I had picked up the Negatron Cloak earlier. That was for help in laning against the Akali, against Plasma Puffball's Akali. And so I decided, it's too late, probably too late at this point to build a Rod of Ages. Let's just go for the Banshee's Veil. And then I also picked up a Chain Vest. Extra armor never hurts, but I'm actually going to build that towards Atma's Impaler. So this is an item that's been seeing a lot of use, particularly on junglers and tanky champions, which is where it should be because those are the champs where it tends to be most effective. Going to give me extra armor, extra critical strike chance, and it will also give me a lot of attack damage when I actually finish that. So Atma's Impaler, a very good item on Cho due to how much health he gets. Right now, we're setting up over here. Their team doesn't seem to know that we have a ward right there in the brush. So Machi Balls is going to initiate on Plasma Puffball's Akali. We're doing a lot of damage to Varus Nox, but Martian is taking a ton of damage as well right there. We have a Soraka Wish ultimate coming out. I'm going to try to get in the middle of their team, try to use my disables right here. I'm going to try to use my silence. This was a very chaotic fight. I just went ahead and used my feast on Plasma Puffball because I wanted to deal free damage on him as much as I could. I'm just trying to stand in the middle of the team, get off as many auto attacks as possible, use my skills whenever they come off cooldown. Right there, I'm actually going to get the kill on Akali right there, and then Silence together with Machi Balls is going to get the kill on Terror. That Rupture is slightly misplaced, otherwise we would have killed Morgana as well. Can we chase this down? but Kevin Rill is getting back close to his tower. He's going to use a nice defensive dark binding there, but we're still chasing. There is the knockup on the Hoodman, and that's going to get us another kill. So that rupture was pretty well placed right there. And notice that my feast is already off of cooldown, which is pretty funny. Even though I just used it in that last fight, it is already off of cooldown right there. Oh, and right here, watch this. No! Oh, Machi Balls and Gnar both dying to tower with no one in sight. And Gnar losing oracles in the process. Pretty hilarious. Well, it wasn't hilarious at the time, but it sure is watching this on replay. Anyway, now Varus has, I don't know if he died in the fight, he either revived or came back from healing, and now we're going to get the slowest chase in the history of League of Legends. Ken, Riven, and Morgana chase down a 3,200 hit point Cho. Here they go, still chasing, still chasing. Siroon giving me that move speed. Oh, Ash Arrow from Fountain onto that Cho'Gath. Here comes Morgana's ultimate right there. I'm actually going to silence and interrupt that ultimate right there. Still chasing. Can I make it back to the safety of the tower? 500 HP, 100 HP. And yes, actually am going to make it out of this still alive. And that is the value of being tanky with Cho'Gath. Take a bow there, little Cho. That is one tanky void monster right there. Just run, mind blown. Okay, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. So that was still a good push for us. We did lose some champions. Did lose some champions to the Tower of Death right here, which shoots down everybody in range, apparently. I have gone back, picked up the Cloak of Agility, so just need a little bit more gold to pick up that Atmas, and that's going to give me a lot more damage and make me a lot scarier in these upcoming team fights. Still, that fight went pretty well for us. I did actually save my Oracle. I saved my Feast stacks by not dying, so that was pretty important to be able to save those Feast stacks and save the Oracle. Gnar has picked up another Oracle. He probably didn't need to do that because I already had one. Ordinarily, it's great to get an Oracle on support, but when Cho'Gath has the Oracle and is this tanky, you probably didn't need to spend that on Soraka. Anyway, we're going to try to put pressure on this Baron right here, see if we can get a good engage. Our two priorities at the moment are looking to take Baron and defending Baron, so that's sort of first priority. If that is not the case, the other thing we can go for is this inhibitor. If their team would be out of position, we can all run mid and grab this because, like you can see, we did get that tower. There's nobody mid protecting that inhibitor. So those are sort of the two key objectives right now. Bottom lane is pushing in our favor, so this is very important. This helps us a lot. They are going to have to send somebody to deal with this. What they should probably do is send Morgana to bottom lane because Morgana has the teleport and can then teleport back into a Baron fight. So we just want to stay around Baron, keep pressure on them right there. And then this is what we're waiting for. Terra Incognita, the Ashe player, is in bottom lane, is not in position. So instead of going for Baron, we're going to go for a slightly safer play. We're going to rush this inhib and see if we can get this inhib before Ashe makes it back into the fight. We're going to look to engage, try to force the fight before Ashe can make it back here. But we're actually not going to be successful because Terra did a nice job of just pushing back that minion wave and then immediately making it back here. So that was our goal, but we did not actually pull it off. Terra was able to get back here. Right now, going to be a little bit of a poke fest back and forth. I want to be in front. I want to absorb any dark bindings, any Ashe volleys. Just take the damage for the team. That's my goal right here. Absorb anything that comes our way and try to disable people. Right here, Hoodman's going to flash and then pulverize, but the rest of the team obviously didn't think he was going to do that because they weren't able to follow up on it, and he actually just ended up taking a lot of damage. So it was a nice initiate, but it looks like the rest of the team wasn't expecting it. And yeah, now we're poking on that tower. Shirelli is coming out, giving them the movement speed, but we are just going to burst down the Hoodman before the fight really gets started. I'm concentrating on trying to disable Varus Nox, Terra Incognita, and Plasma Puffball. See right here, I'm going to zone Terror and Varus away from the fight. The only ones in the fight right now are Plasma and Kevin Rill. Going to silence that Morgana ult, although I think it did finish ticking. And now Plasma Puffball is still up. Can we finish him off here? He's going to flash away. There's the Twilight Shroud. Doesn't matter because we have the Oracle. And right there, miss on the Rupture. If I had hit on that knockup, we probably would have killed him. But he did manage to escape that. Anyway, here we're going to back out. We had a slight disagreement. Machi wanted to try to finish the game, but they still had Plasma Puffball and Varus Nox alive, so I didn't think it was a good idea to go for that. Maybe we can just finish. Yes, he's saying here, maybe we can just finish the game, but at the same time, that is a double turret. It is a very strong position on their team. We are beat up from the last fight. See, Martian Me is pretty low. Why should we dive that when we can just take a free Baron instead? That's the way I look at it. So this is the less aggressive play, but it's also the safer play. Just doesn't feel like we have any reason to go ahead and maybe we win the game there, but maybe we also lose 2 or 3 people, and then they revive and take Baron, and then all of a sudden the game is swung in their favor. So that's what I was thinking when I typed that there. So again, I mean, you can debate the call, but when you're ahead, you know, we're pretty comfortably ahead at this point. Sorry, excuse me. It always seems like I start coughing at about the 40-minute mark of these games. I should just grab some water for when I'm going to cast these. Anyway, my point was, when you're sort of comfortably ahead, why take a risk? Just make the safe play. Go ahead, grab Baron, look to push, and just try to finish the game in a safe manner. It's one of the things I always try to preach when I do these videos is if you're ahead, if you're in a comfortable position, don't make risky plays. Just make, you know, smart plays, safe plays, and you'll usually win more often than not. Anyway, so I have now finished Atmos Impaler, so you can see here, gain extra attack damage equal to 2% of your maximum health, and when you have 3,500 health, that is a lot of health. So I actually have 250 attack damage right now. I get my passive on the Vorpal Spikes that add another 90 or so magic damage on my auto attacks, and I attack pretty fast. I actually have over 1 attack speed, over 1 attack per second, so I actually am pretty strong right now just in terms of being an auto attacker. So this is one reason why this build seems to work pretty well. It's not because you do a lot of magic damage. You have your true damage. Well, actually I don't deal that much magic damage, but I have my true damage on my feast. I'm super tanky, 3,500 health with almost 200 armor and magic resist. And then I actually am a pretty strong auto attacker as well. Other good items to build, things like Force of Nature is also quite good on Cho. Like I said, Rod of Ages is good on him as well. I mean, there's a number of different ways you can go with him, but I was pretty happy with how this went. Anyway, we saw them there do this ward. I can't remember who placed that word there, but we saw them there by the ward, did a nice job, and so I was just trying to make sure that I was in front here, that I was in front of the team, and again, absorbing any poke coming out from them. I saw Plasma going around this way, and I was like, look guys, let's go on Plasma, let's see if we can catch him. So there's the Rupture, and there's the Silence, so he can't flash away. I'm going to feast him right there, and it's not going to kill Plasma. Granted, he has Guardian Angel anyway, but what it's going to do is it's going to take Akali out of this fight. Plasma has to go heal at the fountain. He's not going to be in, and while he's healing at the fountain, we're going to force a fight at this tower and go for this second inhibitor. So right now here, I'm in front, just tanking all this damage for the rest of the team. Gonna go in, use my ult on Alistar right there. Maybe not the best target. We're gonna blow up Kevin Rill, and now by the time Akali's healed, the fight's basically already over, and we've won it right here. So Machi's gonna score that kill on Akali right there. There's another knockup on Plasma Puffball's Akali, and Sarun doing a lot of damage. Oh, can Sarun survive? He's very, very low, down to 60 HP, but he's gonna eat the orange, gonna get a Soraka heal, and he is gonna survive that one. So anyway, with that tower going down, with that inhibitor blowing up, we have pretty much won this game, so we just need to be comfortable, finish this off. We have all 5 up against only 2 of them right here. We're just trying to see if we can get the kill. Watch, I'm going to knock Ferris Knox up into the air, and oh, he's going to get Buster Shotted backwards into the fountain. I was like, no, you knocked him back into the fountain. We could have gotten that kill. But you know what? He actually had Guardian Angel, so we weren't getting that kill anyway. Oh well, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here, finish up the game, and we'll look at the stats. Alright, overall, I ended up 4-2-6 for the game with a whole lot of minion kills. I felt this was a pretty solid Cho game. It wasn't spectacular. I've seen much better ones, but pretty solid on the whole. I was pretty happy with how things went in the team fight. I was really trying to concentrate on taking the most dangerous champions on the other team out of the fight, just trying to use my disables on them, and that usually meant Plasma Puffball's Akali and Varus Nox's Riven, just trying to focus on either knocking them up in the air or silencing them. I think I used my feast every time on Plasma Puffball's Akali. But hey, are you going to blame me? I mean, he was 7-2-2 on the other team. He had half of their kills, so I think I was right to focus on those champions. If this game had kept going on longer, I would have finished. I would have turned that Glacial Shroud into a Frozen Heart. Frozen Heart, it really isn't that great. Usually you can just stop at the Glacial Shroud part of it, but I would have finished that, turned it into a Frozen Heart, and last item probably would have been Guardian Angel, either that or like Force of Nature or something like that. But overall, I think this is a pretty solid build. And I've largely copied it from other people, so that's me taking inspiration from other people right there. On the rest of our team, Machi Ball's got most of our kills. He got about half of our kills alone on his side, built all sorts of AP items, and was bursting people left and right with LeBlanc, which is more or less what LeBlanc is meant to do. The rest of the team played pretty solidly as well. Marsh and me was starting to get very strong at the end of the game, which is what Tristana usually does. Nar played solid support, and Sarun was his usual self, with a mixture of really great plays and sometimes making some mistakes, and then spamming the chat to all and telling people about how he messed up, as he seems to like to do. And then on the other side, like I said, Varus was testing out a jungle Riven build. I asked him after the game how he thought it was, and Varus said he actually thought it was pretty strong, that he thinks Riven is actually a pretty good jungler overall, which is not something I was expecting. Varus said if he had any idea what he was doing with Riven, which is a champion he's played 2 or 3 times, he thinks it would have been much more successful. So that's something we'll have to keep an eye on in the future. Maybe we'll see some jungle Rivens. But Varus said it felt pretty strong, and I would trust his judgment on that one. So again, thanks to everybody who played in this game. Thanks to people for joining me on a Saturday afternoon just for some fun games, fun custom games, that sort of thing. Once again, hope everybody enjoyed this video. Again, if you enjoyed the videos, feel free to subscribe to the Twitter feed. Feel free to comment this video. I do read the comments even if I don't have time to necessarily reply to all of them. And feel free to like the video, upvote, all that sort of thing. All of that is good stuff. So once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this, and good luck to all of you. See you again soon.